On Tuesday, June 13th, I predict that Aetherworks Marvel will be banned in Standard. Here are the top 5 reasons why. Number 1, Temur Marvel decks have taken over Standard. Marvel decks have been on the rise ever since Pro Tour Amonkhet, and as of the making of this video, Temur Marvel makes up a whopping 33% of the metagame, although it was just over 36% just a few days ago. And this number does not include variations of the deck like Bant Aetherworks and Sultai Aetherworks, which also revolve around Marvel. For comparison, the second most played deck in Standard, Green-Black Energy, makes up less than 10% of the metagame. Reason number 2, players don't like decks that win from out of nowhere. Magic is a game where even the best players win little more than half the time, so losing a match is no big deal. However, there are decks out there that tend to get under people's skin. This includes decks like Modern White-Red Prison, which only an asshole would play. But even more frustrating than that are decks that win at any moment. The most frustrating thing about Marvel is that it can appear from out of nowhere and spawn a bomb as soon as it hits. And this quick way of winning feels very similar to the banning of Splinter Twin in Modern last year. Like Aetherworks, Splinter Twin decks would win using a card that costs 4 mana, while the remainder of the deck would work to set up for the card. And worth mentioning is that Splinter Twin decks only made up about 5% of the Modern metagame at the time of its banning. Compare that to Marvel's more than 33% prevalence, and you see what I'm getting at. On to reason number 3, nothing in your sideboard can fully stop Aetherworks. Sure, there are cards like Dissenter's Deliverance and Dispossess, which can interfere with Marvel, but these cards have their limitations. Dissenter's Deliverance can destroy Marvel, but it can still go off before it's destroyed. And those who have played against Aetherworks know that it usually only takes one firing of Marvel to lose the game. As for Dispossess, sure it can remove Marvel from the opponent's hand and deck, but with Servant of the Conduit, Marvel can still come out as early as turn 3. The best way to stop Marvel is to board and negate, but then Aetherworks players can just board and dispel to stop it. So unless Hour of Devastation has some super crazy card to board in against Marvel, like give your opponent poison counters instead of energy counters, Marvel would likely continue unopposed. Reason number 4, it works with any card. The fact that Marvel can send out any card, whether it's a creature, instant, planeswalker, whatever, ensures that Marvel will be playable even when cards like Ulamog and Chandra rotate out. And with the new Bolas Planeswalker coming out in Hour of Devastation, I don't see how Marvel and Bolas can be in the same standard together. And on to reason number 5, everyone seems to have given up on Standard over the past week. For me, the most fun part of Standard is trying to brew new decks, hoping that your deck will be the next big hit. But with the way things are right now, it really does feel like no deck can compete with Aetherworks. Lastly, I want to point out a quote from an article from Wizards themselves that was posted just last Friday. The quote reads, "Our goal is to get Standard to a point where we have spent a lot of time trying to solve the format, and we can't agree on what the best deck in the format is. With the way things are in Standard, the mystery is solved, and there's no doubt which deck is better than the rest. That's why this Tuesday, I predict that Marvel will be banned. But if by some chance I'm wrong about Marvel being banned, I will apologize by making a video about Liliana's boobs. And if I'm right, well then I told you so. But I might still make that video about Liliana's boobs anyway because my views are down and YouTube stats tell me that my audience is 98% male. So what better way to rally the audience than boobs? Anyway, that's all for now, and feel free to subscribe if you want to see more content. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you have a great day. Boobs.